My name is Jake Blue, and I'm on a mission to discover the greatest small towns in America. That's why today I'd like to welcome you to one of the undoubtable best towns that I've ever been to. This is Stowe, Vermont. We got breakfast coming up. We're gonna ride this gondola. Let's get started. So we start with breakfast at Spruce Peak Resorts here in Stowe, Vermont, and I have a friend with me today. This is Cassandra. She's from Boston, drove up to see me, and we're about to have what I think are the best pancakes in the entire country, and it's all thanks to this ridiculous company. Would love to figure out how to be sponsored by a syrup company, but regardless of if they pay me or not, I'm going to tell you this is the best local food in all the country. It's one of my favorite things, Run Amok maple syrup, and you'll see how crazy these pancakes that we get in just a second are. All right, you can see why I love Vermont. Look at how insane that is. But look at this. Look at how beautiful this is that you just got. Oh my gosh. Let's go, baby.
Wow.
So you should take a spoon and just sample some of this syrup so you know what you're getting first.
Whoa. That's super different.
Yeah.
It's super mapley. It's so fluffy and doughy. I'm gonna cry.
Oh man.
Oh man. I'll eat my vegetables and eggs.
After breakfast, I'm holed up in my little nook in the corner of the lodge doing some work. I'm actually sending emails to my Wander Blue email list, inviting them on a trip to Iceland next February. So if you want to come to that, click the link in the bio, subscribe to Wander Blue. I'm going to finish up work in just a second here, and as soon as we're done with this, we're headed up the gondola, which is probably the coolest thing to do in Vermont that I've found so far, and I've never done it before. So it'll be Cassandra and I's first time. Let's go get it. It is gondola time. We are going to the tallest mountain in Vermont. Now this is Mount Mansfield, like just over 5,000 feet, and I've never ridden this gondola, so I'm stoked. Doors will automatically close. Have fun. Let's go. We're at the top of the gondola. You can see some of how beautiful this place actually is, and right now is the best time of year to be here because every fall there's an orange wave, red and orange leaves, that sweeps across the valleys and turns this whole place golden. And now we've got to find our way up there. I think one of the best bonding experiences whenever you're traveling is to go get in the woods and hike some stuff. And this is fun for Cassandra because she's been living in Boston for the past 2 years, right, basically?
No, it's been like 6 months.
I was way off, all right? A long time, and she hasn't seen a tree in ages,
No,
so.
I'm literally not hiking.
All right, so we're doing a little baptism by fire today and taking her up, according to the guide lady, the most technical trail to the top of the mountain. So we'll see how this goes. Made it to the subalpine zone. This is the point where the wind is blowing so hard and there's so little soil on the ground that almost nothing grows here. And you can see how cool some of the trees are. What's really unique about these firs is that they might be 100, 150, 200 plus years old, but they've just never grown because the wind chops them off when they grow too tall, and they don't really have a whole lot of nutrients to grow from. So these are probably the wisest and oldest trees you find in the forest, despite the fact they come up to my waist. So it's pretty cool. What are you thinking so far, Cassandra? Cassandra just bailed out because the hike took it out of her, but we still have a lot to see. Even though you've watched this far in the video, I still haven't showed you the actual town of Stowe, Vermont. I've just showed you the part where I spend a lot of my time, this resort right over here, these gondolas and hiking mountains. But when I want to go into town, have a little bit of dinner like we'll do tonight, take a swim in the river, I head into Stowe proper. So I'm going to show you the town, one of the most picturesque, gorgeous places anywhere. Downtown Stowe is busy today. There's an event going on, but because I have my brand new awesome bike, I don't have to worry about going and parking my huge van and all the traffic. We just get to ride the bike. It's so awesome. I can tell you, after over 3 years on the road, one of the best purchases I've ever made to make my van life better was getting a bike. When you live in a van or even just a car, you have to struggle with parking downtown in some of these crazy tourist towns like Stowe, Vermont. With the purchase of a bike, though, a simple bike, you can park 10 minutes outside of town, ride in, and suddenly it becomes so easy to enjoy all the best places, even when they're super crowded. So if you don't have a bike yet, I highly recommend it. Here we are in downtown Stowe, Vermont, and as you can tell, it's an absolute zoo. There are cars backed up all the way through downtown. There's someone's car alarm going off over there that nobody's been able to stop, and it's crazy here right now. The reason why is because every year fall in Vermont turns this entire town orange. Pretty much all the leaves fall, every tree in the forest turns orange and gold, and it's one of the most beautiful places that you've ever seen. The maple syrup is running, like people are just eating and loving and hiking, and the temperature's perfect. And because of that, there's a ton of people that come here. This is prime tourist season during this early fall stage. So because of that, there's no chance that I'm actually gonna stay here that long this year, or that I'm driving downtown to go eat at one of the restaurants. But there is another place on the outskirts of town that I like to eat at that I can go park my bike at. Very friendly to bikes, and if you watched my last video, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, man. There are some meals that I've had that are so special, not because of necessarily how good the food is, but because of how good the memory is. When I was on my first trip across the country, this was the first meal that I had out to eat in a very long time because I couldn't afford any food to eat. And this burger was the one that I had, so I always come back to this same restaurant, eat at the same place, get the same meal, because I still have that memory of one of the best burgers I've ever had. So that was a day in Stowe, Vermont, one of my favorite towns. Just sitting there eating dinner though, and thinking about where I'm going to sleep. Normally during this part of the video, I'd take you to the place that is best to sleep at in the town. However, Stowe is not very friendly to van lifers. Pretty much everywhere is kind of pushing it if you're going to sleep there. I've gotten away with some of them. Some people don't care. But during the high of the tour season, it's just not going to happen tonight. Plus, I was just finishing up dinner and feeling antsy. Like, gosh, I kind of gotta go somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but it's not the right place right now. So I'm just gonna say, kind of like let go all my plans and start driving south-ish, because I'm checking out the last of the national parks in the lower 48 right now, and it'll be fun to do some of that stuff. So I'm just gonna start moving. I'll let you know where I end up tonight, and I'll turn the camera back on. But it's 4:28 p.m. right now, and that gives us a lot of daylight to go disappear into the sunset. Let's go. Campsites like these really make me miss the West. I'll show you where I'm parked tonight. This is a little town called Williamsburg in central-ish Vermont. I drove probably like 60 minutes, something like that. I'm parked back here in the back corner of a lot, behind the chimney sweeping business, I think. Not the most ideal campsite, and it really is making me miss like Montana alpine lakes and Colorado mountains right now a lot. But when you get to the east, there's not a whole lot of public land, so you just kind of got to be okay finding places that are quiet, even if they're not the most ideal campsites. right now I'm feeling a little bit sentimental. It's like I'm out here looking for all the national parks, and it's a worthy cause, and it's something that I just think is so cool to do as a van lifer. It's really fun. Got 5 left now. I'll head all the way down to South Carolina for the next one. But I'm just like, dude, why am I out here instead of in like the West for fall right now? It's such a far trip. And I'm not going to be back until next year. So I was a little bit saddening, but this was still the full tour of Stowe, Vermont. So I hope you ended up enjoying it. I hope you get the chance to come out to Stowe, that Run Amok maple syrup. If you try nothing else, if you never go to Vermont, go to their website, Run Amok maple syrup, and order some of that stuff, because it'll just show you how high the quality of food is out here and how beautiful it is. So that's all for me today. Thanks for joining me on another Greatest Towns in America episode, and I'll see you in the next video.